Suma and I were released without incident, except for the strange staring that Dahal kept doing when he thought I wasn't looking, and a lengthy conversation with the Grand Duke Udoka Sopra. He asked me if I was okay and other questions about the attack. Then he started asking me about, well, me. To be fair, I had just killed a drake, something that is difficult for a trained group of experienced mages apparently, in one-on-one combat, so I guess I should have expected people to be curious. He asked me about where I was from, what I did, and about my magic. He was quite surprised to hear it was a form of chaos magic, or at least I think he was. I'm getting better at telling, but I'm still not perfect. Eventually, Suma joined us. She answered a few questions as well before the Grand Duke thanked us both for speaking with him, and excused himself, wishing us both a safe day. Before going, he also assured us that he would do everything in his power to punish the nobles who attacked us, and he would make an example of them in case any others got an idea for revenge. I decided not to go home for a couple of days after the attack, just in case any more nobles tried to attack Suma. Just like last time, I rented a room from a nearby kennel and paid with my mana. Then Suma and I did something we have been dreading for a while now. "What did you do? It's only been 3 days." The Nume who made Destiny, Mori and I just squawked. "How did you even put these holes in it?" he said angrily as he examined the shield. "And what happened to the spear? It looks like you smashed it with a boulder. Why is the tempering of the metal tip ruined?" The more he talked, the more depressed he sounded. I know, I'm sorry," I said. "But we were attacked and everything got kind of broken in the fight. Well, except Mori the sword." The Nume blacksmith sighed. "Well, I guess I knew this would happen on some level eventually. I just didn't expect it so soon." He shook his head and used magic to lift up Aegis. He looked over it again and then back to me. "So, did they at least do well?" "Yeah, they did. Aegis, the shield, took everything like a champ, and it would have been skewed without it. And Destiny gave me range when I needed it. I took out several of those nobles' familiars with her. That drake would have killed me if I hadn't had them all," I told him. When I said the word drake, his head poked up a bit, and the feathers on his head did too. "A drake, you say?" His voice sounding much lighter. "The things I made help beat a drake?" He started standing a bit taller now, and his chest was even poked out more. "Well, how about that?" "So, they can be fixed?" I wondered. He looked over everything one more time. "The shield will need to be patched and melded back together, but it's doable. The spear, however, that might be a lost cause. At least the shaft, anyway. I could retemper the metal, but there is always a chance that a wooden shaft will break again. You might want to consider ordering a new one out of a metal tube. That way it will be harder to break and easier to repair," he explained. "How much is all that going to cost?" Suma spoke up. "I won't lie, probably a lot. Maybe a whole daljar," he said. "How much is that?" I asked Suma. "A lot. A daljar is what we use to store mana outside of our bodies. One daljar could hold 2 whole days' worth of mana from 2 normal Nume, or maybe about half of a day for a court mage," she explained. "Can I pay half now and half upon completion?" I asked the blacksmith. He wobbled his head back and forth in a thinking motion, then said, "Well, I don't know for sure how much it will cost until it's all said and done, but if you want to put a down payment, then that's fine with me." He went into another room for a moment, and brought back a small jar-looking thing about the size of his body. "How did you carry that?" I wondered. "It's lighter than it looks. Also, it's empty," he replied, and scooted it in front of me. "Just put in as much as you can manage, and we can worry about the rest later." I knew how to do this part, as it was pretty similar to when I had paid for my room at the kennel, only this jar was a lot bigger. I placed my hand on the top of it and started forcing mana into the jar. I had to be careful. The first time at the kennel I tried this, I broke the jar. Slowly I let mana flow into the container, but unlike the kennel, I didn't feel any resistance, so I let it flow a bit harder, assuming that I was holding back too much. "Are you okay, Jake?" Suma asked after a moment. "Yeah, I'm fine," I said, with my eyes still closed, trying to focus on not breaking the bottle. "Are you sure, son?" the blacksmith asked, sounding a bit worried. "Yeah, why?" I asked, opening my eyes, and seeing that the jar was almost full and glowing brightly enough that all of us had to avert our eyes. I immediately stopped, as I hadn't wanted to accidentally lose control and break the bottle. "Oh, sorry." The blacksmith peeked around the wing he was using to shield his eyes from the light. "It didn't do that the last time you paid, did it?" "Suma paid last time," I said. "Speaking of which, it didn't cost this much to have it made. Why is it so much to have it repaired?" "Most of the price is the metal tube. It's difficult hollowing out a metal rod," the Nume said, still side-eyeing the glowing daljar. Jake, did this happen when you paid for your room? Sumer asked. I don't know. The thing I used then wasn't see-through, I said to her. Why are you hollowing out a pre-built rod? Why not make a flat sheet, then roll it? I asked, turning back to the blacksmith. Evenly heating a hollow tube with flame magic is nearly impossible alone, and unless you want to pay a higher price, I can't hire someone to help me, he said. I thought for a moment as he covered up the brightly flowing dull jar with a rag, allowing us all to fully open our eyes again. Can I see your working area? I asked him. I want to see how you create the fire with magic and how you mold the metal. My question seemed to catch him off guard, but he agreed, and we walked to his back room. Sumer excused herself, saying that she had other business to attend to. I think she just didn't want to watch. Okay, let's light up the forge, the blacksmith said, and placed a wingtip on a small red symbol emblazoned on the side of a brick and metal box. The symbol began to glow, and a magic circle formed in the center of the box. Then it erupted into flames.